Well, hello friends, Fujosevic here. Welcome to some Hearthstone with some Elemental Buff Paladin. So we've queued into a Priest who is historically a bad matchup for these sorts of decks. We are going to go ahead and throw out a Hydrologist, even though it's going to give our opponent some sort of trading action. When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand. I kind of love the infinite value that Getaway Kodo can provide. So I think we're going to go with this here. Obviously, this gets Power Word shielded. We're in horrible, horrible shape. But that's okay. Another good option probably would have been Get Down. Simply because... Oh, hello. Well, this is a very interesting change of pace. So the idea behind this deck is that we're going to want to basically buff our minions, but we're going to be relying a little bit on the fact that we have somewhat stronger minions than Paladin has had access to in the past with the elementals. So obviously we were expecting this trade to happen, and that's really not the worst thing because we have Getaway Kodo, so we're kind of remaining equal with our opponent's draw here. The thing that we're going to want to do now, though, is we are going to want to hit... Oh boy, we definitely want to hit some elementals now. So that next turn we can just start discovering really hard into bigger stuff. This is obviously really scary, leaving this sort of trade up for our opponent for them to continue to draw. But I think at this point, because we each have our own game plans, I think we're kind of okay. The issue is going to be here if our opponent really gets really, really far ahead of us in terms of resources. And then we aren't necessarily really well situated in order to deal with an Azoth. As our opponent playing the Makers is definitely going to be a little bit better at being able to, provide or set up a really, really big board. Opponent's going to continue to draw. Unfortunately, there's no way for us to buff. So I am tempted to Servant of Kalamos, but I'm also really tempted to Grime Street simply because our opponent's not going to be able to deal with this unless they run the Divine Inner Fire combo. So I think I kind of want to do that, to be honest. Or do we want to just get some big elemental action going and win that way? Like if we get Fire Elemental now, it's kind of great. Rag is kind of great as well, so we'll just take an extra good guy Rag. And we're going to not go ahead and attack here. So now we do have enough power on board to kill this Cleric. And the great thing is obviously the fact that this is 4 attack. Our opponent's getting a +1. And this is totally fine if our opponent trades in here, because then we're going to hit the Grime Street Enforcer and our opponent's going to have all sorts of trouble. Oh, this is going to be a really nice for us right now. Obviously, this sort of deck that our opponent's running is going to have Dragonfire, I expect, for its board clears. So I'm kind of expecting to get hit with the Dragonfire. Our opponent's drawn a whole bunch. They have over, oh my goodness, almost half of their deck either drawn or already played. So that's really bad for us in terms of being able to, kind of stabilize and do much of anything. Whoa, we're in really good shape now, aren't we? So one of the things we're going to have to do is kind of budget our Grime Street Enforcers. Now, this one is going to be able to dodge a whole bunch from our opponent in terms of Shadow Word Pains and deaths and things like that. Oh, maybe this is just going to eat a pain on this. I'll take that. Oh, I'll take that every day. So how many cards do we have? We have 10 right now, so we need to do something. So let's get a nice defender out here. Let's buff up the Wicker Flame a couple times. We did very much, to be honest with you, we did very much have the option. This still can't punch through, so I'm just going to wait. We did have the option of playing the Plume Phoenix to punch through attack and then play the Plume Phoenix. But I kind of like setting up this buff. That's a pain. That's okay. It's not the end of the world for us. We're still very able to kind of really get through our opponent here. It's really unfortunate we don't have any major healing mechanics, so we're not able to... Oh, that's actually really unfortunate now, isn't it? So how are we going to do this? We don't have any elementals already having been played, so we can't do that. It's a little too early for an 11-11, I would think. If this gets buffed, that's okay. We kind of want to do 2... we got to see where this goes first. If it goes here, that's okay for us. That's also okay. So we're going to deal 2 damage here. That's a very okay thing. We can't take that out, so we're not going to worry about it. This is now our elemental, so next turn we're going to have elementals all activated and stuff like that. I'll just throw out a loot hoarder just to get some cycle going, and of course we'll just throw out a guy. Just because, and we're going to have a whole bunch of really big 1/1s to be able to play in a couple more turns of our buffing action. The issue is, of course, our opponent's going to have massive board clears of their own. Like, 1 Dragonfire potion still attack in and Dragonfire, and they're fine. And they will eventually run out of Shadow Word Deaths for all of our strong minions. And then, of course, their N'Zoth is going to be absolutely devastating, and we might honestly be too slow to deal with it. As slow as it is, our deck is kind of slower. That's kind of a scary thought when you think about it. And we're not going to commit Grime Street until we've exhausted all of these other really, really good options. Yeah, this is definitely the trade you want to be doing here. That's kind of terrifying now, isn't it? We definitely have options of things that we want to be doing. We're going to start with a Discover. I think we just Discover every time here. Ooh, that's pretty bad, but I like another Calamos, so that's okay. We can go ahead and add more minions to hand to get buffed. That's pretty good. 4/4 with this taunt is pretty cool. I think I like killing this, or do we want to do it this way and punch in there? Yeah, I think we'll do it this way, because I don't want to set this to 1, because then Holy Fire is going to be able to do work. So let's get a draw going. I know that's going to set us all the way to 10. But that's okay. These are pretty big. This is going face. Let's set up... Ooh, 1 more or no? We need to play something. We're down to 9. I think we're okay now. And now Dragonfire is at least a symmetrical board clear, and we're able to refill pretty hard. So, not too worried about that. Yeah, now that we're getting hit with the Dragonfire. As long as our opponent doesn't have too much to play right now, we're okay. Oh, that's a really good pickup from our opponent. Oh, that's not fair. Opponent's not supposed to get good cards like that. And this is great, just infinite value here. Yeah, we'll take another Rag. There's no problem with that. We can go ahead and hit him with that Discover. We'll go ahead and take the Wicker Flame. Do we want to buff this hand or no? Or do we want to play? Yeah, we'll buff this hand. And we'll play out another 4/5 just so we have a little bit more of a board. Obviously not in a great situation, but our opponent will have to deal with some sort of... Oh, more drawing. So now we're going to really be setting up for that N'Zoth. And I think we have the power to hopefully clear this. Oh, maybe not so much, huh? The other issue is we are going to have to deal with that 8/8 that's going to come out. But we do have 2 more Aldor Peacekeepers in our deck. That's fine. Hopefully it's a bad one. Okay, here we go. Not buffed, but still super strong. So I dig that. What else can we do? 7 and 3, I think that's too much. We're going to wait for our last buff mechanic to really come out and do some work for us. We can go 7-2 and a 1, right? Nothing crazy. The question is, what do we want to hit? And it doesn't really matter. This has to die, obviously. Maybe this is overkill. Yeah, you know what? That is overkill. Let's just play the Fire Plume. We'll do that. Fire Plume goes down. This goes down. That goes down. This was an Elemental. I don't even want that Divine Shield out, though, to be honest with you. We'll play one of these. Is this a 4? No, this is a 5 now. That's way too good of a Shadow Word Death. So we'll go ahead and play it like this. Yeah, this is a really great Shadow Word Death target, so I don't really want to give that option to our opponent right now. So this is a super, super grindy out game. We were pretty lucky to get our first Grime Street really, really hitting our minions. I think we're going to have to line up our next one pretty soon, I think. But I really wanted to have a board here to be able to deal with whenever the heck it is that N'Zoth comes down, because there's going to be potentially some big minions that we're not going to be able to deal with right away. So we're going to have to start working towards clearing them out. Discover an 8 cost minion and then summon it. Tyrion? Tyrion's bad. Tar Creeper's okay. Hey, I just said Tar Creeper's okay. Okay, so we have options now. How do we get through this? This is 4-5 to punch through. Then this is 5, 6, 7, 8. A little overkill-ish. Ooh, Blaze Caller's so good. I wish we had more. Or do we go 5 here? Then we can go 3, 5, 6, 7. No, it's overkill there as well. 4, 1. Oh, we don't have nice convenient math for us right now. I mean, we're going to be able to do it, to be honest. It's just, how do we want to do it? 5 plus 3, we don't have anything to go 2. And this goes back to hand. We're going to go ahead and play to keep things alive, though, I think. So this 4 is going to go and attack. We'll have the Elemental deal the 5. This 4, unfortunately, is going to go. Yeah, we'll play a small one. Ooh, this game has been fun so far, and this is kind of how these games should be. I don't think this deck is really built to be a fast, and I guess it's good that we kind of did put out a bit of a stronger board. Hey, there's a good result for us, I would think. That's fine. I think we can do this. The issue is obviously that we're not getting out Rags. We'll see where this buff goes now, and that's what we kind of have to see. That's really unfortunate for us, I think. We want to pop this. We don't want to really pop that. We could kill one of these off. We could just have a whole bunch of buffs here. Let's think about that in a second. Yeah, we could throw out a 2-3 kind of deals with it. We could kill these both off, right? Oh, we could have killed the N'Zoth. Maybe killing N'Zoth would have been a better play there. Yeah, I like killing N'Zoth way better right now. This is pretty good. I didn't play an Elemental this turn, so we'll go ahead and do it this way. Oh, that Shadow Word Death. So good. Mind Control. Even better. N'Zoth and Mind Control. How do you win games, dude? 6, 7, 8. This is 10. I mean, we can just do it this way, right? I mean, this absolutely stinks. Don't get me wrong. 9, 9, 12 is alive. And we take that heal. This probably gets hit with our opponent's other Shadow Word Death, unless it's somehow still in the last part of their deck, which would be great for us. I doubt it, though. Ooh, maybe we could have got that. Yeah, we should have killed N'Zoth and got the Grime Street out last turn, but that's okay. We're still kind of learning how this deck really works. This has been a bit of a complete game battle. Our opponent doesn't have the damage here, although they could do some Dragonfire Potion action as well. Maybe they do have a Holy Fire, Holy Nova, I mean. Holy Fire would be good for them as well, I guess. Not very efficient, but it would get the job done. This does count as an elemental, so we will be able to throw down the Stone Shaper this coming turn. Obviously unbuffed, but that's okay. Opponent does get to punch through here. Also okay. Oh, and opponent floods. This is an 8-8, which is pretty good. 5-5 versus the 3-5. We'll go ahead and Wicker Flame here, even though it's not really needed. Obviously, the Aldor is going to be coming out for this 5/5. And having these at 4 is actually kind of very, very useful again. So that the priest is not going to be able to Shadow Word Death them. And if one of these does get hit with a Shadow Word Death, then maybe good guy Rag ends up winning us the game. We've kind of been able to punch through. Oh, that's awful. That's a really, really good card for our opponent, though. That's for sure. Yeah, they can slowly trade through this. And the healing is obviously negligible, but it's just the fact that it's, you know, a big, strong minion that gets things done. And one of the other things that we have to be really worried about is the fact that we have a lot of actually very, very poor top decks available to us. Like, there's no denying the fact that right now we could actually just top deck like a Firefly, which a 1-mana 1/2 we don't want to see. We don't really want to see a Grime Street Outfitter. We were lucky that we got a few of those things earlier on. But right now we're not too happy seeing some of them. And that's just more value, more things that we have to ping down. That's completely fine. This is fine. Hydrologist is actually kind of okay. I think we're definitely going to play Hydrologist. What else are we doing, though? That's fine. Hydrologist is good. We'll kill off the 1/1s. Redemption, Getaway Kodo. That's the one that we want to get away from. So we'll just chip this guy away. Aldor that one. Punch that one. And then do we want this? Well, I didn't play any elementals, but it is sparkly now. So we'll go ahead and throw this down right now. We're only having one minion getting buffed. Oh, wait, it wasn't sparkly. Whoops. And that's honestly okay because that's just an extra... That's an extra Hydrologist that we're going to get to play right now. Now, obviously, no, we're going to lose our Grime Street, but that's okay. Other issue is the fact that our opponent has not played their second Shadow Word Death, and that could honestly be very, very worrisome for us. Well, that is very worrisome for us. Well, there's that Dragon Fire that we were worried about. More 1/1s. More! Hydrologist time number 2. Getaway Kodo again. We will punch in here. And we're not going to hero power. We're going to float that mana. Because we want this to get attacked into and then get hydrologized one more time. Simply because we kind of need a little bit of help with the value. I'm expecting these to be 1/2s. I think these are 1-mana 1/2s in our opponent's hand. That's okay. I really don't mind taking this hit twice with the True Silver, to be honest with you. Simply because, yeah, it wasn't get down. I'll tell you that much. Take another bunch of damage, not eye for an eye. Oh my goodness. Okay, well now we kind of need to hope that... We need to hope we get a little bit lucky here, because we could be in quite a bit of trouble. Depending what this Ysera card is. Like what that Ysera card was generated, and if there's Shadow or Deaths or Entombs, which... I don't think is a thing anymore. Yup. Terrifying. Terrifying. This is potentially... I mean, 40 health is kind of whatever. That's kind of funny. What do we want to do? Do we want to Aldor this? Yeah, we do need to Aldor this. I am very tempted to do that. We should have thrown out the second Rag. Oh well. This is still okay. Can't easily kill Rag, I don't think. Now it's a bit harder to kill Rag, that's for sure. Obviously getting a second Aldor in hand isn't the best, but I think saving was probably the better choice there. Getaway Kodo, that's fine, because now if our opponent plays something big, we'll be able to deal with it again. Like that. And they could still throw down more taunts to kind of disrupt what we're doing with Rag, which is fine, but we'll be able to throw down a second Rag. Uh-oh, what is that? Return a minion to owner's hand. Terrifying. That's, okay, so we still have ourselves a game. 40 health on our opponent. They only have a few cards, though. We'll do this and this. And then we'll throw down our own 1/1, and I think we're kind of off to the races here. Because 2 rags are way better than 1. There is no doubt about that. And yeah, well, still at 7, but that's okay. They might have, what are they going to have another, are they going to have anything else? Defenders or Sun Furies or anything like that to be able to actually activate Devilsaur? I don't know. I'm expecting one more Shadow or Death though, right? On the big guy. Is that it? That has to be it, right? There it is. There it is. And they take the freebie. Sure, why not? Give a minion +5/+5. That's pretty good, except for the fact that we have the Spike Ridge and the Aldor. So we're kind of okay doing this. How tempted am I to kill this? Like, what are the chances? No, I can't do this because that's still Ysera in hand. I'm going to save the Smuggler's Run. It's not going to do me any good. So that's Ysera. That's something else. And then Rag gets healed right the heck back up. And our opponent's already fatigued. So they're going to be 4 ahead of us on fatigue, which is absolutely huge in the long run. Our opponent's just going to hope that that's a really good Ysera draw. Because it's dead. Ysera's dead right now. The Outfitters. And that is how this has been, rank 5 plays of Elemental Hand-Buff Paladin versus Quest Priest. And I don't know if that proves anything about how strong this deck is or anything like that, but I hope you enjoyed it. I know I had a whole lot of fun in these types of games. Hopefully rank 5 isn't always going to take this long for our games though. But if you enjoyed and you got to this point in the video, you might as well hit that big old red subscribe button or hit that big Fujo in the middle of the screen so you can come back and hang out with us as we continue to try and make our climb all the way to legend. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Keep your stick on the ice.